Previously on Coruscant Nights.
You've got a little message on your message boards, direct message.
Well, it doesn't surprise me. I'm very popular on the message boards.
It is a whole bunch of odd information. It's got info on the destroyer, the ship that you were just driving too close to. It also has information on the pod race that's supposed to be happening tonight.
I guess the only thing we can do is sneak in during the race.
Well, okay, if we sneak in during the race, what are we looking for?
Anything. Keeping our minds open. This ship just came back from this unknown region of space. Who knows what they brought back with them? It might have already been taken away, but what if it can't be removed in broad daylight? Don't have to keep coming up with reasons. Betty, use your imagination.
4 successes on a hard computers check.
So many successes!
You find that same list of locations that it had been to, and along with them, you find a list of things that they picked up in those places. And you don't recognize a lot of them, but the ones that you do recognize are very dangerous creatures.
Great.
You're scrolling through this list and you see these planets and the creatures that are coming from them. And then when this last one comes up, Shel Luara, Betty says, "Hey, wait, stop." And she puts a finger on it. So you can tell the way it's classified that the things that were picked up at the other planets were plants and animals. Mm-hmm. And what is under Shel Luara is classified differently. And it is also very redacted.
Clones. Why did it have to be clones?
Below you see a group of clone troopers, but their armor is a little different. It is a little bit more fitted, and it's black. It's very, very black.
Trying to think of a joke about cloning armor, but I can't quite come up with it.
Yeah, it's a small squadron. There are 5 of them. They've got their blasters raised, and they're moving across this open bay fairly quietly. And it looks like they are heading to a lift opposite the lift that you took up.
Oh, crap. Where are Betty and I right now?
You are I'm picturing this big open space, and you're on the left side on the second floor. Okay. And they're heading towards the right side. There are lifts on both sides that head up to the second floor, and from the second, this catwalk that you're on, there are some rooms that go off to the sides.
We can either take the lift further up and hope that they're not going up to the top, or we can duck into one of these side rooms.
And I'll say that there is one of your so-called treasure rooms, one on either side of this open space on the second story. There's one up near the bridge, and then there are
and that's
2
on a
more.
Different level?
Yep, that's all the way up, and there are 2 all the way in the back.
Let's go to that one first.
The one way up top?
Yeah.
Okay. So the 2 of you head back towards the lift, and Betty, you can tell her training is kicked in. She's moving very tactically.
I'm still like very dramatically pressing myself to walls, and I never quite learned how to sneak. I just get lucky.
And she's moving along this catwalk quietly in her leg warmers and spandex.
I gotta look into those. Maybe they're better tactical gear than I gave them credit for. I'm getting a little hot in my turtleneck, I'm not gonna lie.
You get to the lift, and she opens it up and signals you for you to go first.
So I've got my little blaster pistol, like very James Bond-esque looking. I sweep the room, every area as I approach, and we shoot up the lift.
And the lift goes up, and it opens up into a hallway. At the far end, you see the command bridge, And at the opposite end, you see a door.
That door is on my treasure map, so I open it. Well, we go over to it.
It is locked.
See, this is why I didn't want to go to the treasure rooms on the level that we were on already, because if it would take time probably to open it, and I didn't want them to see us. But we paused long enough to ascertain that they are not, in fact, going to the top floor.
Sure.
Yep. That is something I mentioned, and therefore it is now canon in the course of this story.
For now. Okay. So what are you doing with this locked door?
I am RTD-2ing it.
Computers or skullduggery?
Can skullduggery pick an electronic lock?
Potentially.
There's a terminal next to it.
Yeah. You're significantly better at computers.
Yeah, I should do that. Wow, I didn't think I was going to be using computers. Look at me. What was it? 2 yellow, 2 green?
2 yellow, 2 green. Red, purple.
And
you can have a boost from your previous computers check.
Cool.
Because you got that advantage that we didn't really use.
How many purple?
1.
1.
And 1 red.
Okay, I've got the red. Don't worry, I've got the red. You know, because it's for a good cause, I'll flip a light side point. Wait, do I really need to?
You might want to.
Okay. What does that get me? 1 more yellow and 1 less green?
Yep.
It's only for the children.
Those are the words that I really like to see. Karp used a light side point.
You know, I feel like I've used them frequently enough now that I'm getting a bad rap that I don't deserve. Look at that. I didn't even need to flip it, you jerk.
You didn't.
Look how successful
But look at all those
I am.
successes and advantages.
I am hacking the crap out of this computer.
Man,
Betty is so impressed.
My red.
If only everyone on the message boards could see me now, except I have never let them see me.
So you start tapping away at that little console on the side of the door.
I think we need to spend a little time on describing how authoritatively I am tapping away at that little computer, because it is with such knowledge, but also a kind of intuition.
And grace. Don't forget the grace.
No, I never forget the grace. And it's almost a little bit of a ballet of the fingers.
The celestial music plays as you tap your fingers in a...
It's almost like I'm playing a concert. Except the notes are hacks.
And the door slides open.
I could have fun with being good at something.
Yeah.
Okay, the door slides open. I elaborately wave Betty through.
She moves through with her blaster in front of her. And for good reason.
What?
As you enter this room, the lights up next to the ceiling, they seem like those emergency lights. They're red. And do you close the door behind you? Probably a good idea.
Wait, have the lights gone up already?
Yeah, but they're
I closed
dim.
the door after the lights go up? Okay.
The lights
it's not
the lights
like
were
a
already
gotcha
on.
light. It's someone opened the door light.
Yeah, so you head into this room. It already has its emergency lights up near the ceiling. They're red lights that are illuminating the room, but just barely. And you see silhouetted by those lights up against the walls are 4 very tall droids. It looks like 2 of them are wearing cloaks, and they're not moving at all.
Mark, are they sentinels?
They may be some sort of sentinel.
Do you know what I'm referring to? Are
Do
they
I know
from
what you're-
X-Men?
They're not X-Men sentinels.
I was kind of
You don't have mutant powers.
This would fulfill every, conspiracy fantasy she's ever had if they were X-Men sentinels.
How much does... Karp doesn't like droids, but how much does she know about droids?
Well, you have to know your enemy, Mark. She knows everything about droids.
Okay, I'll just give it to you.
Yes.
They're IG-100 Magna Guards.
For Magneto?
No. Do you know what droid I'm talking about?
I'm gonna look it up. Magna Guard. Ooh, they look scary. Why do they wear cloaks?
Just for fun.
They finally invented a droid with a sense of fashion.
Mm-hmm. But they are not moving at all.
Not all of the ones I'm seeing have cloaks. Are you sure it's not just
No.
the one droid that had a cloak?
There are 2 droids in this room that have cloaks.
Okay.
Out of 4.
I didn't know when they managed to program fashion senses into droids, but I'll go with it.
And there's a door at the opposite end of the hall as well.
And there's 4 of these guys?
Yeah.
But they're, like,
They're
immobile.
just standing there. They're not acknowledging you.
Okay. Betty and I still, like, freeze for a moment in the classic oh crap pose. And then we kind of, like, scoot to the side and I go up. I don't go up to one, but I see that they're, like, I kind of wave my little flipper around in their line of sight and I see that they're not tracking the movement.
You notice that their eyes are not glowing.
Yeah.
They look like they have eyes that would glow.
Yeah, well, they definitely would have glowing. If they have capes, they have glowing eyes. Why not just give them a little cap with a feather in it? Why stop at the cape?
Maybe they decided to wear the cape on their own.
Or it was programmed into them
Sure.
to think that a cape would be a good idea, even though it's a little out of fashion by this point.
Are you going to go through the other door? Or you just
Sure.
want to play around with these droids?
No, I don't want the droids to turn on. I go to the other door across the...
And you push the button, you put your palm on the little reader, and it swooshes open.
Why would my palm activate the door? Do they know me? Do they have my information? Mark, do they have my fingerprints?
All palms open doors.
Okay. Whatever happened to a good old doorknob?
This is Star Wars, we don't have doorknobs. The door whooshes open into another dark space. It is also lit with red emergency lights around the edges, and by looking at those lights you can tell that this space is circular.
Mm-hmm.
And in the center, also lit with red lights, but from below there seems to be a little, like, pedestal. And looking around, it looks like there are a couple other pedestals in this space, but the central one is the only one with lights under it.
Is there anything on the pedestal?
There is.
What is on the pedestal?
You gonna go check it out?
Well, how far can I, like, look at it? Wait,
Yeah, like 10
how
feet.
far away am I?
It's dark. 10 feet or so in the dark.
Can I use my opera glasses? My night vision opera glasses?
Didn't you pack a whole bag of stuff?
Well, I mean, I don't know how bad I need that other stuff until the need for it comes up. Maybe I packed a whole bunch of, I don't know, vibroblades.
Looking at this pedestal, the central one, you see this little tiny, like, pyramid thing that also has a red glow to it.
They love their red. They love their glow.
And Betty breaks in and says she's gone to one of the other pedestals and is looking at, in her hands, she's got a book, like an actual physical paper book.
She picked it up from one of the pedestals?
She did. She picked it up.
Betty.
That's where I know Shell Luara from. Afka's research. Shell Luara was a Sith world.
You and
Pair
Afka
of worlds,
talk?
really. Yeah.
Do you ever
Afka
talk
talks to
about
everybody.
me?
He's lonely. No.
Are you sure?
Yeah?
Okay. I'm a little jealous that 2 of my friends talk and I'm not in the conversation, but I let it pass because of the urgency of them.
It's 2 planets that rotate around this central axis, I think. She's looking at the cover of this book, which has sort of an image of 2 planets and some writing in an ancient language. It's got a dark history.
Is that ancient language English? Oh wait, no, this is a long time ago in a galaxy very far away, so no.
Yeah, and they speak basic here. No, but that ancient language, this is written in ancient Sith.
What does it say?
I don't know. I don't read it.
Does Afka read it?
I don't think so.
Has he mentioned that during your many personal chats, apparently?
I think it's a long dead language. She, like, looks around at all this stuff, and there's something on each pedestal, and there are 5 pedestals, including the one in the center. And she says, "This is where they're coming. We need to get out of here."
Can we take the book with us?
Sure, yeah. We should take all this stuff.
Alright, so I just scoop everything, and I take a bag out of my backpack. That's one of the things I had in there. An extra bag. Yep. It's like a reusable grocery bag, except it's
you take it to the Gungan Farmer Market.
Yeah, I do. Yeah. Because I'm responsible. And also because they got rid of single-use plastics, which is one of the only good things they've done. Anyway.
When the Empire takes over, they'll bring them back.
They're just that evil.
So you grab a book. You grab this little red pyramid. What are two other things that are on the pedestals?
I'm supposed to make those up?
Sure.
One of them is a large... I'm looking around my room for... one of them's a glass candle.
A glass candle.
And one is a dagger.
Okay.
Dagger.
It's so you grab the dagger.
I grab the dagger. I stick it in
big
a belt.
Dagger.
I stick it in my belt like a big game hunter from Jumanji, and looks real cool there. But that leaves me room for one other thing, right?
Yeah, there's one more thing.
What is that thing?
It's a small statue.
I get that too, but I draw a bag of rice out of my bag. And put it on the pedestal.
Just one of them.
At the same time as I take the statue off.
One of 5.
Well, it's the only one that's got a statue on it.
Wow. Okay. And I will flip a dark side point.
No.
As you grab the last thing off of one of these pedestals, did you close the door behind you?
Is there another door in the chamber?
So you're in this circular room with one door out, and that door leads to that little hallway with the magna guards.
Okay, so the only way out is the way we came.
Yeah. So can you still see the hallway with the magna guards or no?
Can I retroactively place a proximity sensor that sends an alert to my data pad when someone trips it? Which I had set outside of the door, and I can just pick it up as I run out? No?
No.
Okay. Well, then I just hear footsteps.
Well, did you... I'm asking if you left that one door open or not. Can you still see that little hallway that you came down?
Yes, but we are not visible through the door frame.
Okay. But you hear somebody on the other side of it. You hear that sort of scrambled voice. And you can hear that somebody... Maybe you can even see the little shadows under the door that they are about to open that space up.
Betty and I run to either side of the interior doorway, the one we had just come through. And there's no place to hide in the hallway with the magna droids, right?
No. Unless you hid behind one of the droids with their cloaks.
I hear what you just said.
No, unless you hide behind one of the caped droids.
Okay, my follow-up question was going to be, can I crawl inside the droid and maneuver it like a puppet?
No.
Well, then we figure that they're going to come into the interior chamber, so either... And that's just like something right away, So, because there's nowhere else to go. So either we wait there and hope they pass us and we can sneak out and close the door behind them, or we can... Okay, 2 of the magna droids are wearing stupid capes, so we run over to the magna droids and stick ourselves under the capes.
Okay. And you hear the door open. And I think I need a stealth check.
It's a yellow and a green. But I argue for a boost because apparently we heard them.
Yeah, you have a boost because of hearing them coming. You can have a boost because you are behind something.
And a boost because our heads are under a cape?
Yeah, so 2 boosts.
No, that would be 3 boosts.
It's 2 boosts.
Are you sure? That sounds like a 3 boost advantage.
I think it's a 2 booster.
Okay.
And it's going to be against these troopers' vigilance, which is going to be 3 reds.
What? Do you really... I feel like you want me to fight these guys, so I don't know how hard I should fighting these guys. But there's 5 of them.
You're not going to do well fighting these guys.
Okay. AJ, this is for the children. I'll flip a light side point. And that upgrades My green,
That
right?
turns a green into a yellow.
Okay. 2 yellow, 2 blue, 3 red.
Of course that happened.
Yes, the one time I'm happy to see that. Everything canceled out.
That's still a failure.
No, but it's not their success.
It's still a failure.
No. That's not fair. Just because everything canceled out, a failure is clearly marked as a failure. Canceling out means nothing.
See, the thing is, you don't have a little explosion, and a little explosion is a success.
A little failure.
You go to hide behind these Magna guards, and you hear the door open, and you hear the footsteps of these troopers, and you see the little red beams of their laser sights and the little green lights in their helmets, and you hear their scrambled voices talking. And 4 of them make it to this next chamber, and one of them stands and starts looking at these droids and sort of poking at them. And he doesn't spot you, but you're kind of trapped.
Okay. Let's see. How... Well, they're spread out now, so this is not a time for thermal detonator. But... Ooh. No, see, Karp doesn't go right in for the kill, though.
Karp goes in for the stun.
She goes in for the stun. But would that armor block a stun?
Probably.
Yeah. I mean, it's probably a different color for a reason, right? It's probably better.
Yeah.
How good is Betty's blaster? Is her stun a little better?
What's
is Betty's better?
Not particularly.
Should I bet on Betty?
I wouldn't.
Okay.
She's good with it.
But it's not particularly stun lethal.
Yeah. It's pretty similar to you, both in what she rolls to shoot and the damage that it does.
Okay, so... Okay. So, the guy, the clone trooper passes... I assume it's a clone trooper just because the armor, while a different color and slightly different design, is like still reminiscent enough to be clear that it's just like a special clone trooper. But how you differentiate which clones are special is really beyond my comprehension. However, he passes by close, and how far are we from the chamber, the other chamber?
From the one with the pedestals? Yeah. I think you are behind the droids that are closer to it. So a couple feet.
And how far away from
it's a short
the
hallway.
First entrance are we?
Maybe 10 feet. There's one droid between you and that entrance, and then some open space.
Okay. I feel like I've come across this situation in video games. So we could either wait for this clone trooper to just time it so that he like in the outer chamber for security, or just because he's curious about the droids?
Possibly both. I think he's more curious about the droids since they're not doing anything.
Alright, so he's kind of... Could I switch them on? Listen, Mark, I was literally just about to just push one over and make her run for it.
Well, you could do that.
I kind of want to flip the droid, but how do I program? Oh, I'm a computer genius now.
Apparently.
Oh man, okay. I flip open the back panel of the droid that I'm working on, and I hate droids, but you know your enemy, so I know these droids very, very well. I've been studying the heck out of them lately, and I've got my little toolkit that I have unearthed from my backpack because I have reserved the space to decide what they are in the moment that I need them.
It's going to be a light side point if you want to do that.
If it's light or death.
All right. So you're going to roll a computer's check.
Okay. That's 2
and
I believe.
Since you flipped, why don't you add to 3 yellows, 1 green. Yes. And let's make it against 2 purples.
I should have
and
a boost
I'm going to say,
because I've been studying so hard lately.
I'll give you that boost, but I'm going to give you a setback because you are under pressure.
Is that the red or the black?
That's a black.
Okay. What's worse? Is red worse?
Red's the worst. Purple second. Blacks don't really do much.
What? Look at that! Look at all that
2
triumph.
successes.
What?
1 threat. 2 successes, 1 threat, and a triumph.
Well, the threat is already apparent, yo. He's got a gun.
So what do you do here?
Okay. So, in the space of, I would say about 20 seconds. Yeah. I have flipped open the back panel on the droids, and I have, like, you know how you have to train Siri to recognize your voice and obey your commands, but nobody else's?
Mm-hmm.
In a low, urgent tone, I whisper a few key words for it to... And, like, the stormtrooper, or clone trooper kind of hears me, but at the same time, he doesn't know where it's coming from, and he kind of, like, looks up at the furthest away droid, kind of like, did that droid just talk? But it didn't talk, it was me programming the droid to only respond to my voice commands, and its eyes light up, and it activates to life.
What were the code words? Was it like Bantha, Nikto, Malastare?
Well, you know, these are words that you need to cram as many consonants and vowels into so that you can establish as wide a range of pattern. It's like when you have to roll your fingerprint around on a device for it to recognize like the full fingerprint. You have to choose words that sort of express the full gamut of your speech pattern. And it's the quick brown Skazborg jumps over the lazy Vrelt.
Great. So is your triumph? Is it that this droid is now yours? Or is it that you activated all of these droids?
It's that I activated all of those droids, obviously.
Okay.
Because they have a hive mind, these guys. Well, with whatever droids
They kind of do.
Linked. So, like, they'll be linked in small groups. And, yeah.
So, you whisper this code phrase that you made up, and the clone trooper is looking up and down at this droid, his black helmet with the little green lights in it, checking it out. And as he looks up at the face, the red eyes blink on, and he takes a step back, and you hear the of this droid's electro staff.
Sounds a lot like a lightsaber.
It sounds kind of like a lightsaber.
Those aren't so special.
He ignites it and starts spinning it around, and you see the other 3 droids in this room also ignite these long staffs with purple energy at the ends and start spinning them around, and they move towards the troopers in this other chamber.
2 of them do.
2 of them do?
Yes.
What does the third one do?
Advances on the clone trooper nearest us.
And the 4th one?
Comes with us.
No.
Come on! I
No.
finally got a droid I can trust, and you make it stay behind? I want it. Why can't I have it?
Because you didn't roll 2 triumphs.
That's not even... fine.
The threat that you got is that this trooper in black fires off 1 shot, and it calls attention to the other troopers, and we're still going to roll initiative of you getting out of this room.
I feel like you're trying to make me less successful than...
Nope, it was successful. There's a fight going on, and hopefully you're not involved.
I'm not involved because I had 2 successes in addition to my triumph.
The troopers in black see that these droids have activated, and the ones in that chamber take cover behind pedestals and behind the sides of the door, and the one that is engaged with these droids takes a shot at one of the droids, and it's his blaster bolts are just
Not effective, right?
It's almost like they're almost completely soaked up by the armor on this droid. But you can see that it did a little bit of damage to it.
Well,
You and Betty
and I make a break for the door while
one of you gets to right now.
one of us gets to?
Yeah. This is all happening in a matter of seconds.
Okay. Well, Betty is on my left and she's closer to the door, so I kind of give her a shove and she runs for it.
Yep. The droid in front of Betty has taken a step forward and started swinging its staff around.
And it's still dark, so it's not exactly
it's still dark.
Like no one's going to be looking at us right now or seeing
So
us.
There's this...
And I'm in black.
Yeah.
Remember, I have a black turtleneck.
And she's in, like, neon pink and white and teal.
But there's a lot of swirling neon at the ends, because I looked up. I know what these little staffs look like, and they are tacky and they are bright. So.
They're very purple.
They're very purple.
And they're swinging all around. There are flashing lights everywhere. There's blaster fire from
So you're not going
from the
to
troopers.
notice a couple of neon cloth stripes running feet behind that.
And Betty runs out the door. And the Magna Guard closest to you is also closest to this trooper. And it spins its staff around and the electricity crackles in the air. And it swings it at this black-clad trooper and hits it. And you hear the buzzing energy as it ricochets off of his armor. What is Karp going to do?
I also make a break for it.
All right. You get out the door.
Yeah. Do I have to roll anything?
Nope.
Woohoo! Okay, so
And-
I go to the terminal and I command it to lock the door on them.
Let's get a computer's check.
I know what I am. I'm 2 yellows and I am 2 greens and I get a boost because they're way distracted.
Sure. Okay. And it's going to be against... What was the last one we did? It's going to be against 3 purples. No, you already have it open. It's going to be against 2 purples.
Come on. Okay, this is me. I'm blowing on my laptop screen. Oh, look at that!
All right.
So many successes, so many advantages.
What did you do? What's it look like when you're tapping away on this terminal?
It's like when you see a conductor in like a frenzy of movement, just directing their orchestra through like the most emotional parts of any Tchaikovsky like dramatic score ever. And it's just like that kind of beauty and the flurry of her little fingers tapping on the keyboard, and it's like with a flourish I press whatever the enter button passes for on these things, and it not only shuts these blast doors but makes them impossible to unlock from the interior.
3 advantages. It's going to be very difficult to unlock from the interior. Yeah,
very hard. They certainly cannot do it with 4 droids shooting at them.
They cannot. The door slowly slides closed, and the last thing you see is the spinning purple electricity of these electro staffs and the red fire of the clone troopers' blaster bolts.
I make a deep, flourishing bow.
You bow towards Betty, and as you come up from your bow, I'm going to flip a dark side point, because behind Betty are 3 people in dark cloaks.
In my moment of triumph, you do this to me? Thanks for listening to another episode of Coruscant Nights.
Coruscant Nights is a production of Nightcast Creative.
For more information on this and our other projects, visit nightcastcreative.com.
Thanks to Nikki for playing on these episodes. Check out Nikki's art at nikkismithers.com.
Tonight's Destiny pool was fueled by Donate for Destiny. Thanks to AJ for the donation.
To find out more about Donate for Destiny and for a link to donate, visit nightcastcreative.com/destiny.
If you're loving Coruscant Nights, be sure to leave us a review on your favorite podcatcher and visit us on Patreon at patreon.com/CoruscantNights.